Hello everyone. So here we are once again in the middle of a jungle. This is where I live. I'm kind of homeless. And this is actually a perfect place that represents the 10th house, jungle, the law of the jungle. Okay? Because 10th house represents when you go out there outside into the wild. It's not the battlefield like the 6th house. It is just out in the wild. Because 4th house is your home, the safe home. Outside, the 10th house is the outside of it. Whatever's out there, and it really represented jungle back in the days. And who survives in the jungle? A hunter. And who's a hunter? Mars. That's me. Okay, so today we're going to be doing Mars in the 10th house. Let's get started. So guys, what happens when Mars is in your 10th house in your birth horoscope? And this is going to be probably a good short summary of it, not too much. But Mars is a soldier, okay, who's out there fighting for the right cause, who's out there battling, who's out there, fighting for the king's belief. And so here, Mars actually does very well. It is actually a place where he's excelled in Capricorn. It's the original house of Capricorn, okay, because Mars is a soldier with a gun, with a sword, a machete. So whoever comes to him, rarely anybody would come to him because they know they will get killed. He'll go and he will just take the sword and chop them off like, I think Legolas from Lord of the Rings. Remember in the two swords, he goes onto the elephant and whatcha? Okay, so that's what Mars is. This is a place where Mars willpower is so strong that no matter what happens in life, these people have a smile on their face because they're just able to fight anything off, including diseases. They'll fight anything off. They have the willpower, because if you have the willpower, you're going to be surviving in any kind of a place, especially a wild place like a jungle. Okay. However, this placement of Mars represents major ups and downs in a person's life. These people, although with excelled Mars, they have the ability to rise to the top in the corporate jungle and become the executive leaders, become government leaders. They face some of the most dramatic ups and downs in their life because this is the place where Mars is tested, whereas Mars powers are tested. So if universe or God has said that, okay, here you have the excelled Mars, he says, but since you're at the excel place, I'm not just going to let you sit there and do nothing. I'll give you some challenge so you're not, bored. So God gives them true challenge. So these people face true enemies. They face true, hardship in life. And then they come out and rise to the top. However, with this position, you want to make sure that Mars has support in order to win the battle. What do I mean by that? You should look at the karkas of the 10th house, especially Saturn. Look where Saturn is placed. If Saturn is in the Pacha house, if Saturn is in a good sign, if Saturn is in the Kama house. In Trikona houses, Saturn is really not welcome unless it's a yoga karka for that ascendant, meaning that Saturn is owning the quadrant and, Kendra and Trikona houses in the horoscope. But Saturn, Sun, and Mercury are the significator of the career. But mainly, you should really, if you don't want to get too confused about this, concentrate on Saturn's position into the horoscope. Because Mars, if everything is weak and Mars is strong, this person will eventually come up in life, but they'll have to struggle for a long time. They have to fight all the enemies, robbers, animals in the forest in order to, become the king of the jungle. But if Mars, the soldier, has other soldiers with him, then it helps him to gain success at an early age still with a lot of struggle, but they gain it. Okay, so always look at if Saturn is well placed in your horoscope, because Saturn should be well placed in everybody's horoscope. And this is why you realize that some people will not have success. They'll always struggle. This is why you have 80% of the population struggling all throughout their life. Okay, but here Mars can actually make you an IAS officer if you're in India, like, which is the most prestigious government position. You can become a police officer. You can go into chemical business. If Saturn is with you, you can become a petroleum engineer. Especially if it's in Scorpio, you can become an engineer of oil, and you can become a miner. You can become a manager in mining business. Okay. However, this is just represents in the modern world. It represents an executive position, a managerial position, somebody who's in charge of something. Okay. And these people have a very good relationship with the father in this position. Because of the fact, father's no longer just teaching you; he's giving you action towards that teaching. Like, you and your father are now in the jungle, and he's showing you how to hunt. So now the Mars child is like, oh, all right, we're gonna hunt. All right, Dad, what do I do? Where do I look? So now action is happening in the teaching. This is where Mars is okay with it. So, and your father can also be a policeman with this position. Your father can also be in a government position. He could be a servant of the government, meaning that he may not be in a leadership role, but he could also be the administrative role of the government. And don't forget, this is a great place for action-oriented profession as well, like sports, like being a martial artist. Martial artists can be seen from the 10th, 3rd, and 6th house. And if you're a sports person, soccer, cricket, basketball, baseball, because all of these require action, fighting, competition, winning, everything that Mars wants. Okay? All right. So guys, this was my analysis of Mars in the 10th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe above. And if you want to know more about astrology and yourself, check out my link below. Check out my articles there and my book, Astrology, the Speed of Light. And once you get the book, I will send you the link to study your own chart. Just follow the link and follow the directions. Otherwise, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.